Welcome to the Geeks and Creeks podcast, where we bring you the latest and greatest in the world of sports. We couldn't be more thrilled to kick off this exciting journey with all of you. In this podcast, we'll dive into everything from game recaps to news and hot takes. Whether you're a diehard fan or just someone looking to stay in the loop, there's something here for everyone. So grab your favorite team's jersey, settle in with some snacks, and let's get ready for an adrenaline-packed ride through the world of sports. Alright guys, welcome back to an episode of the Geeks and Greeks podcast. It has come that time of year where we are coming to the end of the NBA season already, and it feels so weird. I know we just started talking about it on the show, but Sunday, April 13th is the last day of the NBA regular season, and then playoffs start. It's crazy how fast this went.
Yeah, I gotta say, I have watched more basketball in the last 10 weeks than I have in the last 10 years. I'm not gonna lie.
You're welcome.
100%. I agree with Pete.
And you know what? It's helped kill the time until the NFL season started too, didn't it?
That's true.
Kind of helped take a little bit of mind off it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know what else is helping killing the time until the NFL season? Is I went to another wrestling show this weekend.
How was that?
Yeah, it was at AEW Dynasty. It went until fucking 12:30 at night. I brought my kids like a schmuck on a Sunday to 12:30 at night in the middle of North Philly. It was great. It was a wonderful time. Thanks, Tony Khan. Thanks for scheduling a 7-hour pay-per-view. But other than that, it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. You know, Tony Storm retained, as she should. Forever champ. Unfortunately, John Moxley retained, and Swerve
Forever
lost.
champ.
Yeah, pretty much. But we kind of saw that coming. Swerve wasn't primed for winning yet. They got to have a Texas death match. That'll be there when Swerve finally wins. But yeah, it was good.
Or will it be like a Seattle suicide match?
Seattle suicide match. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That'll be Swerve versus Darby Allin if they ever have a show in Seattle and they're facing each other. It's a Seattle suicide match.
There you go. I gave you a new name for the match, too.
Perfect.
But, I saw some clips from it. You sent us a few clips as well from the entrance with FTR and Edge and all that stuff, and after the show and everything. And yeah. I follow AEW, so I saw some clips from the pay-per-view and all that. And yeah, that's one complaint I had with AEW's pay-per-views is, my God, is it an endurance match? It's an endurance just watching it.
Being there is so much worse.
Because I went to Double or Nothing out in Vegas back in 22.
Yeah.
And that was a 5.5 hour show.
Ugh.
And it wasn't quite as bad because the start times were all based in Eastern time. So when the show ended, it was 10:30 Vegas time. So it's all right, we can still do some stuff because it's only 10:30 here. But it's yeah, but I just spent 5.5 hours watching wrestling. I need to go do something else, man.
Yeah.
That was a rough week out in Vegas for that, man. I'll tell you what, dude. By the end of that week, I'm just I'm done with wrestling. I just want to go home. I don't want to be here anymore.
Man.
A week out in Vegas is way too long to be in Vegas continuously if you don't live in Vegas.
I've never been. I'll have to try sometime.
That was rough, dude. Because we got there Tuesday, then Dynamite was Wednesday night, then we had Rampage on Friday. This was before they had any other shows. There was no Collision or anything else, and then we had Double or Nothing on Sunday, and I wanted to come home Monday, but Monday was Memorial Day. I'm like, well, I'm not flying on Memorial Day, so it was cheaper to stay until Tuesday. So Monday night, I did a track day instead and went out and did a track day at one of the racetracks out in Vegas instead.
Nice.
So that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. I would totally do that again.
I know I said 7 hours. This one was actually 5.5 hours as well. It started at 7 and ended at 12:30.
Yeah.
It was, and my voice was gone by 8:30. Like, I had no voice at all. I couldn't scream anymore by 8:30.
Right. Oh, I totally get that. Like, I understand that. Like, I think the worst part for me when we were at Double or Nothing was one of the matches it wasn't Stadium Stampede, obviously, but it was something kind of similar. It was like a 5-on-5 tag team match, and they went all throughout the arena. And you don't think about it when you're, watching it at home, but like in the arena, you have no idea what the hell's going on because all you can see is what's on the jumbotron. Because if they're backstage and everything, you can't see what's going on. So half the match, you can't see what's there. So it's like you have no idea what's going on for like a good half to 3/4 of the match. So I was like, well, it's a terrible match in person for those matches. Absolutely terrible.
I think they call the other one Anarchy in the Arena. If it's not a stadium, it's an arena. It's Anarchy in the Arena.
Yeah, Anarchy in the Arena. That's what it was. Yep. Yeah, because it was like Jericho. It was one of Jericho's groups, and I forget who the other group was, but it's a terrible in-person match for that, especially with no commentary, because you really have no clue what's going on.
You know what I wish they would do, and I've seen them do this in football stadiums, so I know it's possible, but I wish they would broadcast the commentary on like a radio frequency so you could tune a radio into the commentary and be able to hear it while watching the show. Because the commentary is 90% of professional wrestling. Like, and that's one of the reasons why it's more fun to watch wrestling in a bar than it is at an event, because you can hear the commentary and you get everybody cheering in the bar. Whereas at the event, you just can't hear the commentary. Sure, the crowd's going nuts, but you can't make out anything that's really happening depending on where you're sitting.
Right. I think that's also part of the skill of being able to tell a story with the match, and that's what's gone for a lot of people too. Yeah,
that's fair.
So, but when you get those kind of Anarchy in the Arena matches, there is no story. It's just we're beating the hell out of each other around the arena. So
right.
That's when you really need the commentary.
Yeah.
Just pipe that into the arena's sound system.
Right. Yeah. So the crowd can hear it. Something.
Yeah. Because you really need it. You really do. But yeah, it wasn't bad. Just it was a 5-hour show. It's rough live. It really is. Yeah. Especially if you get the pre-show too. So that adds almost an extra hour to it. So it's like 6 hours at least for it. I was done.
Yeah.
It really was. Luckily in Vegas, at least, the place we were staying at was like right by the arena, and I did that on purpose so I didn't have that far to go. I'm like, I have like a third of a half-mile walk from the T-Mobile Arena to Mandalay, or no, it was which one was it? Luxor. That's where I stayed. I'm like, I made sure it was close to where they were going to be having their shows. I'm like, I don't have to trek all over Vegas to go see where they're going to be at. Nice. So, all right. That will wrap up the AEW segment of the show, and we'll move on to the game of the week.
Here comes a new challenge!
All right, this week's game of the week was the Houston Rockets versus the Golden State Warriors, and I gotta tell you, this might be my new favorite for our game of the week so far for this season.
Yeah. This game was so much fun. Yeah, and it was rough. Like, it reminded me a lot of, you guys seen The Longest Yard with Adam Sandler, the remake?
Yeah.
When he's having that basketball game in the prison yard and the dude keeps fouling him and he's not calling it and he's like, "No, I'm good."
Yeah.
It's like, that's what this game felt like. It was like they were just all over each other. One point, Trayvon Green just like elbowed some dude right in the face. I thought his nose was broken. He was like on the ground screaming for his mom. It was insane.
Right? And Draymond elbows him, and they go look at it a flagrant, and they're like, yeah, he totally kind of just, leads with his elbow and hits him in the face, and like, that's a flagrant foul. And the commentary team's like, how's that a flagrant? He's going for a layup. I'm like, dude, he purposely stuck out his elbow and led with it. That's not how they teach you to go for a layup.
Yeah, it's funny because if you look at it from the one angle where it's kind of like he's facing the camera. You can see him pull back a little bit after he hit him in the face. So it's like he clearly was like bang and then pull back and shoot. And it's like half an inch, real subtle, but you could see it from that one angle.
Right.
It was nuts, though.
And this also comes into play the fact that Draymond Green is known as a dirty player in the league, and he's got that reputation well earned.
I can see why.
Didn't he kick a guy in the nuts?
Multiple times. He's done it many different times.
Okay.
That's like Ndamukong Suh level shit.
Yeah, like it's not an isolated incident. He did that. He's done it at least 2 or 3 times that I know of on separate occasions.
There was one,
and he's also stomped a mud hole in a dude once as well. Like he's done just dirty shit, and they're all like, "What?" The commentary team really started to drain on me after this. I'm like, because I was listening to the ESPN commentary team, like, "Oh, this is just Golden State's commentary team that's on ESPN's broadcast," because they were complaining the entire rest of the game after that flagrant foul.
Yeah.
Like, they would not stop bringing it up for the entire rest of the game, and it just got really annoying. Well, they also said, too, this was the 5th time these guys have played this season.
Yeah.
So they've played 5 times already, and I'm like, I really, really hope they meet in the playoffs, because I want to see this as a full playoff series. I want to see a 7-game series out of this, and just see these dudes go to war. Man. It would be awesome. And yeah, I love also that the refs let them play. I love it that the refs are like, you know what? No, we're good. We're just going to let them go.
Yeah.
Let him play schoolyard ball, man.
Although at one point, instead of like counting the number of fouls, underneath the Lakers it just said foul limit. It was like early in the third. What does that mean?
They were already over the foul limit, so every foul after that, they automatically got free throws.
Shit.
Yeah, I think once you reach 5 for the quarter, after that, the other team then gets free throws. So that's where that was at. They were at the free throw limit within like 2.5 minutes of the third quarter.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, which is also when Draymond elbowed the dude in the face and got the flagrant. Yeah, dude, I love Houston, man. Like, I had so much fun watching Houston play this game. Like, they're such a good rebounding team. Like, their hustle and just drive and want for the ball is just crazy.
Yeah.
And, like, I was looking into it, and like when they run their double big lineup of Sengun and like Steven Adams, their offensive rebound percentage is almost 50%. It's like on every 2 missed shots, they're getting the ball back once. It's like, that is insane.
So that actually leads me into my question I had for you about strategy. So I got a buddy at work, and he's easily the biggest Sixers fan I know. And he used to talk about like how the basic strategy is that for the most part, don't ever go for offensive rebounds. Just immediately get back on defense. And like, is that still the strategy of how people play? Because like, they brought up offensive rebounds like a lot in this game, saying that like they said that Houston was the best offensive rebounding team, and like their one guy had like 3 offensive rebounds on the game on Golden State side. Like, it came up a lot, and I'm wondering, is that still the strategy? And if so, what do you think about it?
I think it's more of a team-by-team basis. I think it really depends. I think it's a terrible strategy to not go for the offensive rebound, because it gives you an extra possession. Like, why would you not want to go for the offensive rebound? Like, I guess I can see what he would be saying, and just get back on defense and limit transition points, which are usually easier points to come by, but I would rather go for the offensive rebound and get the basket right back up from there. Like, but I mean, Rockets are the best offensive rebounding team, and you saw why when you watched this game. Yeah. Like, they were everywhere.
Yeah.
And like, they're just, like I said, their hustle and their drive to just go get the ball just beat Golden State's. Golden State just didn't have that drive to go get it half the time.
Yeah.
And like, it's just crazy. Also, Golden State plays small. Like, their center, Draymond's, I mean, for a basketball player, Draymond is small. Like, he's like 6'8", which for an NBA center is not very big. Like, Sengun for Houston is like 6'11", 7 foot. So, I mean, you're giving up 4 inches right there to somebody, which is a lot in basketball terms, especially when you have when you got wingspan too. So it's like, if you get the rebound and you're right there by the basket, you're getting an easy putback and getting more points. Yeah. So it's just, I think that going for the offensive rebound is smarter than not to be honest with you, if you have the people to go for it. Now, if you have a smaller team that plays fast and aren't as good a rebounding team, then it's probably not a good idea. But since Houston's such a good rebounding team, it would be stupid to not go for the offensive rebound. So it really kind of depends on how your team's built. So if you're going to build a team that's not as good of a rebounder, then probably not. It's probably best to maybe have a dude maybe go for it. If not, just get back on defense and just limit transition. So it kind of comes down to more team construction and how you want to build your team.
Okay.
So, but it's not how I would want to build a team.
Yeah.
If I were building one. So, but yeah. We've also got to bring up the fact that Steph Curry only had 3 points in this game.
Oh, yeah.
3. And that was at the
not
end.
3 baskets. That's 3 points. One basket.
He made one shot at the end, like right before the end of the first half, on like an almost kind of like half-court shot almost.
Right.
And that's it. Like
1 second left on the clock.
Like Houston was in his grill the entire game.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'll also give credit. I mean, Golden State's bench and the rest of their players stepped up. I mean, they kept this game close for the entire game. And Houston helped them keep it close by not being able to hit a goddamn free throw.
Yeah.
If they could have hit a free throw, this game would have been over before the fourth quarter. I swear.
Because they served up so many free throws just here.
Right. Try it again.
Look, I even looked it up at the end of the game. They went 6 for 16 on free throws, shooting 37.5%. Like, dude, you gave up 10 points, just freebies. And it's also kind of shows because Houston's the worst shooting team in the league as far as 3-point shooting goes.
Yeah. And
it kind of shows in free throws. I mean, if you're not a good shooting team, you're not going to shoot free throws well either.
Right.
You gotta shoot.
I love when Draymond Green was just like, "Go ahead, call a penalty on me. They're not going to make the free throw anyway." Then they miss it. He's like, "Yeah, I told you."
Yeah, and then he instantly gets the technical. He's like, "Go ahead, call the technical. I don't care.
I don't care. They're not going to make it anyway."
Yeah. Well, you were talking about one of the other games. You were talking about seeing the more athleticism, a lot more dunking in the game. We saw a lot of that with this one with Houston.
Oh, yeah.
Jalen Green and Amen Thompson were just rocking the rim multiple times on this.
Right.
And there was a lot of good screens coming off the back as well, and it's weird. It's kind of cool because Houston doesn't rely on 3-pointers the way a lot of teams do in the NBA. They play more like a 90s or 2000s team where they kind of pack the paint more, but they can pass really well within the paint, even though it's kind of packed in like that.
Yeah.
And there was a time they had one play, it was in the third, where Sengun had it on top and went to go get. They had a guy coming off a screen off the top. He faked the screen. You had an open Fred VanVleet on the wing for the 3-pointer, but instead of hitting him, you had an open Amen Thompson coming on the baseline who got the pass and just dunked it instead. So it's instead of going for the 3-pointer, which 90% of teams would do, they took the open baseline and just took the dunk.
Yeah.
And just you don't see a lot of teams do that anymore. They'd go for the 3-point shot instead. And both were open. Both were wide open too. So it's it's different and kind of a little refreshing to see a team that doesn't rely on 3-point shooting so heavily and still win games and be in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think Houston is probably my favorite team to watch so far of all the teams that we've watched.
Yeah. Well, they'll be in the playoffs right now. They are the number 2 seed in the playoffs. So
nice.
They're making it.
Yeah.
So they've got their spot locked. And yeah, I mean, it's there was another point I had kind of made a note where it's they talk about, talking with rebounding and just interior passing, they came in at one point, it was in the second quarter, and they missed the shot, but Amen Thompson came in and got the offensive rebound and was able to pass it out to Tari Eason out in the corner. He started to go for the shot, but came in instead and drove it. And as he's coming in for the shot, they had 2 guys drop in to defend him. He's able to get it over the top of both of them to a wide open Jabari Smith for the dunk on the block with no one around him. And it's you don't see plays like this where they're, passing up a pretty good 3-point shot to get a better shot on the block for a dunk and passing around guys. You just don't see this kind of play anymore like this.
Yeah.
And it's just so much fun. And these guys are so young too. So young.
Yeah.
It makes it so much fun. I can't wait.
Honestly, I kind of want to go back and watch the other 4 games in this series just to see what they're like.
Right. Well, I know Golden State wins 3 of the 5, so
Okay.
they made a point to say that multiple times in the broadcast. Like, well, Golden State won 3 of the 5, won 3 of the 3 out of 5, so they won the series, the season series. I'm like, season series doesn't mean anything when it comes to the playoffs.
Right.
Nope.
It don't mean anything right now.
Nope, means absolutely nothing. Season series and playoff series are 2 totally different things. They're also refereed totally different too.
So Adam, who do you have us watching next week?
All right, so for our next week's episode, we're going to be watching the Minnesota Timberwolves versus the Brooklyn Nets. This game will take place on Friday, April 11th. And I'm pretty sure this is the first we've seen of both of these teams.
I think that's right.
And this will be our last game of the actual regular season. After next week will be playoff basketball. So,
and that's a perfect segue into Geeks and Greeks news. In the NBA, we have the playoffs starting next week, and for the most part, playoff teams are all but finalized. In the East, we have the play-in round with the Magic, Hawks, Heat, and Bulls fighting over the last 2 spots. The Cavaliers, Celtics, Knicks, Pacers, Bucks, and Pistons have clinched the primary 6 positions. In the West, things are a little bit more chaotic. The Cavaliers and the Celtics are the only 2 teams that have clinched their spots. The Lakers, Warriors, Clippers, Grizzlies, Nuggets, and Timberwolves are all within 1 or 2 games of each other. So there's a lot of shifting that can happen in this last week. Kings and Mavericks are firmly in the play-in round, wild card round if you're a football fan.
right. Yeah, I think the Suns are also technically still in contention for the play-in as well. Mathematically they're not eliminated, but they've got to get severely lucky to make it at this point.
Yeah, I think they said they're 0.5% chance of making it to the number 10 spot.
Yeah, so there's still a chance for the Suns, but more than likely the Suns are out. So we at least know who's going to be in it. We just don't know what the seedings are going to be at, because from 8 to 3, they're separated by 2 games. That is it. So anything can happen at this point. But yes,
that's nuts.
The Thunder and Rockets have 1 and 2, not the Cavs and Celtics. You said Cavs Celtics had 1 and 2.
Yeah. Is that not right?
If that was for the East, not the West.
Shoot. Yep.
Yeah, it is what it is. We're cool.
Damn. You're right.
But yeah,
Thunder,
the West
Rockets.
will be interesting. Because who knows how it's going to work out. I mean, we could see it where the Rockets and the Warriors meet first round if they drop to 7.
Mm-hmm.
So, who knows? Timberwolves are still fighting for a playoff spot, so that game Friday will mean a lot to the Timberwolves. So, Brooklyn's already out, but they're playing for hope.
But with the certainty of playoff games in the future, it is very strange that the Memphis Grizzlies and the Denver Nuggets have fired their respective head coaches in the closing weeks of the regular season. Memphis Grizzlies fired head coach Taylor Jenkins and have promoted assistant coach Tuomas Isalo to interim head coach. And the Nuggets have fired coach Michael Malone and general manager Calvin Booth both, and have named assistant coach David Adelman to interim head coach.
Yeah, I was looking more into this the last couple of days, and this has never happened before.
No.
This late in the season. I mean, the Nuggets have
strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them.
Yeah, right? Like, the Nuggets have 3 games left in the season, and you're going to fire the head coach at 3 games left in the season.
Especially when it's this tight.
Yeah, like, he's been there for 10 years at this point, too. It's not as if he's, been there for only a couple years. He was I think they said the 3rd or 4th longest tenured coach in the league.
Yeah,
at this point.
Since 2015.
Yeah. He was 4th. He's the 4th longest tenured coach because it was Popovich, Spoelstra out in Miami, and then Kerr out in Golden State, and then him were the four longest tenured coaches. And I mean, I know Denver's had their ups and downs this year, but like, I just don't understand this, man. I really don't understand why you'd fire the coach right before the playoffs. Like, this is like the equivalent of basically like saying the Eagles fire Sirianni week 18. It'd be the same thing. Like, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Like, absolutely none. Why would, like, who, and they still think they're going to win. Like,
do we know any of the reasoning? Because, like, I'm looking at their records, and, like, the Nuggets are on a 4-game losing streak. But, I mean, 4 games, is it that much in basketball terms? It doesn't feel like. And, like, the Grizzlies are on a 3-game winning streak. Like, why did they fire him? Like, what did he do wrong? I don't get it.
The Grizzlies one is a bit more into it. I think the biggest thing with the Grizzlies is one of their big assistant coaches is they kind of brought him over from Europe, and they wanted him to be the head coach at some point, and he was going to be on the open market. And so to prevent that, I think they're basically firing Jenkins to promote him and then make him the head coach. I think it's kind of what happened.
Congratulations, you get to be the head coach for 3 weeks, and then
he'll just be. I think he'll end up taking over at the end of this. I think he'll just be the permanent head coach once the season's over.
I mean, yeah, honestly, that's fair, but
yeah, as far as the Nuggets go, I honestly the press release that they put out was, this was the direct quote, the decision was not made lightly and was evaluated very carefully, and we do it only with the intention of giving our group the best chance of competing for an NBA championship in 2025 and delivering another title to Denver and to our fans everywhere.
That's
quote
a non-answer.
Of the owner of the team.
That is such a non-answer.
Yeah. That means absolutely nothing.
Right. And this is actually, I'm pretty sure the guy that owns the Nuggets also owns the LA Rams, too, if I'm not mistaken. The Cronkies.
That shouldn't be legal. Like, you shouldn't be allowed to own more than one sports team. Like, I went on this rant last time about the 76ers and, like, the indifference of ownership. It's like, you shouldn't be allowed to own more than one sports franchise. Just one. And that's it.
Yeah. Stan Kroenke owns both the Rams and the Nuggets.
It's ridiculous.
And 77 years old. Just retire, man. Just retire.
Yeah, what is even the point at that point?
Right?
Give one to one kid, one to the other kid, and get out of the game.
I think Josh Kroenke, which is one of his sons, is kind of the acting owner of this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still, like, I don't understand. I mean, I also don't believe that Malone's going to be out of a job for very long. Mm-hmm. I mean, dude's a really good coach. He won a championship a couple years ago, back in 23. So, like, he's also won recently, too. He's also, was a winning coach. He had a winning record for his time in Denver overall in 10 years. So it's like, I don't think he's going to be out of a job for very long. Yeah. I think, honestly, the biggest thing that I'm cool with the GM getting fired because the team was not very great. The roster construction was mediocre at best. They just happen to have the best player in the world at this point, which is, like, making up for his lack of a good roster.
Oh, my gosh. Kroenke owns 6 sports teams and several others that could be sports team. It's hard to tell.
What?
I don't know what the Arsenal is a women's football
European
club.
Soccer team.
Yeah. So that's another one. Wow. This guy is nuts. So anyways.
I thought it was cool because I own multiple copies of the Master Sword.
Let's see. While the timing of the decision is unfortunate, as Coach Malone helped us build a foundation for our now championship-level program, it is a necessary step to allow us to compete at the highest level right now. Championship-level standards and expectations remain in place for the current season. As we look to the future, we look forward to building on foundations laid by Coach Malone over his record-breaking 10-year career in Denver. So basically, they think they can get a better coach.
So Denver's entering their post-Malone era?
No, oh crap. There.
But yeah, basically, they think they can get a better coach. More power to them. I don't know. Like, we'll see what happens, but, I mean, this also may just piss off Jokic, and maybe he wants out, too. And if that dude leaves, your team is screwed.
Oh, yeah. You might as well just burn down the building and start over.
Yeah. Well, if he asks out, you have to, because by like the advanced numbers, without Jokic, they're a 17-win team. So you're basically starting over from scratch.
Yeah.
That's how good he is and how bad the rest of the team is. That's why I'm like, as far as the GM getting fired, I'm like, cool. He built a shit team, because without Jokic, they're the worst team in the league.
Yeah, you will quickly turn into the early 2000s Chicago Bulls.
Or the entire 1980s and 90s LA Clippers.
But moving on to the next section of the news, congratulations to the Florida Gators for winning the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship over the Houston Cougars, 65-63. Tight game, and I didn't have either of you guys making it to the Final Four, let alone winning.
I had Houston and Duke in my Final Four on that side of the bracket. The other side, neither one of those teams. I had Florida out, and I had the other one seed out. Auburn, I think it was? Yeah, Auburn. Yeah. So I had neither one of those teams making it to the Final Four. So I at least had two of the four. But I mean, 65-63. See, this is why I don't watch college basketball, man. I don't care about low-scoring basketball games. If I want to watch a low-scoring college basketball game with not a lot of talent, I'll go watch high school, all right?
563 should be the halftime score, not...
It should be. They also shouldn't play two halves. They should play 4 quarters. I don't understand why college does 2 halves. It's so dumb. No other league in the world does 2 halves. Only college.
But on to a real sport. We have Joe Milton has been sent to the Cowboys from the Patriots for a 5th-round pick in this year's draft, number 1.
I think Dallas got a 7th-round pick back from the Patriots too. From that trade as well. Not that it really matters. It's a 7th-round pick, but either way, at least they have a backup quarterback now. It's better. You know what? Hey, I'll say this, because people were complaining, it's like they traded a 5th-round pick for just someone that didn't play on a bad team. I'm like, hey, when you compare him to what the free agent quarterback market that's left, that's a backup, I'll take it.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry, I'll take it.
And I'm actually really curious, because Joe Milton, this is only his 2nd year in the league, and he didn't get a chance to really do anything in New England. He never started a game, and the one game he did play, he did okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he was. I mean, he didn't play. I think last year was either his rookie or his second. I think last year was his rookie year.
Yeah, last year was his rookie.
He's
year.
behind Drake May. You're not starting over Drake May. I mean, he's the rookie heir apparent. Like, I mean, and they brought in, I think it was Jacoby Brissett to start for a couple weeks for a while before May was even going to start. So it's like we knew it was going to happen. That's why I'm like, I'm cool with giving up a 5th-round pick for basically almost a rookie quarterback.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens when Dak goes down for like 4 games inevitably.
Right. That's kind of what it is. I mean, we know Dak's going to get hurt. He always does. So he's going to miss at least probably 3 games, 4 games in the season. So he gets the chance to shine, and we'll see what happens.
You could hold out hope that he remains healthy for 17 this year.
Yeah, I'm holding out hope. I just also am realistic about my expectations. He's going to get hurt.
I wouldn't call that hope, buddy.
You know what? My hope is that here's my thing. If he's going to get hurt, which he probably will, I hope he gets hurt in the first couple weeks. That way he's healthy by playoff time if they make it. And we're not going into the playoffs with Joe Milton.
We need to fair. Mitigate our problems.
Well, hey, I mean, honestly, beginning of the season, one of the best times for backups to come in because there's not as much tape and everything. People are still getting used to what's going on. Everyone's figuring out their schemes. Everyone's still figuring stuff out. You know, if someone's going to get hurt and the backup's going to come in, first, 5 weeks is the best time for it to happen.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Hey, if Russ can come in and start cooking after week 5 or 6 and get to the Steelers to the playoffs, I think Dak can come in and do it.
The draft cannot get here fast enough, I'm telling you.
We don't have much time. We have 3 weeks.
Wow.
But that moves us into the final segment of the podcast, the trivia segment, with a game I call Two Truths and a Lie, Part 2.
All right.
Part 2.
I will make 3 statements. 2 of them are true, but 1 of them is not. You will both answer which one you think is the lie, and whoever is right gets a point. Since this is the NFL team edition, once again, all of these questions are about NFL teams. Starting off with the Carolina Panthers. We have never lost in the wild card round. During our first year in the league, we played our home games at Clemson. And we hold the record for the most points allowed in a single season.
So, I think the Clemson Stadium is too bizarre to not be true, if that makes any sense. Like, you wouldn't have made that one up. So I'm going to say that one's the truth for sure.
I can also see because I could see it because Charlotte's also close to the South Carolina border. Like, it's towards the tip of North Carolina. It's on that end. And depending on where Clemson is, because I can't remember the city where it is in South Carolina, it could be close. I could see it. I don't know. At the same time, though, I don't remember Carolina having that bad of a defense, though, to give up the most points ever in a season. I would almost think it was like the Detroit Lions when they went 0-16.
Yeah, or the Browns. I can see the
Browns or the Jets.
Or the Jets. I think that one's the lie. That's what I'm going to go with. We both.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that one as well. They did not give up the most points in a season.
They did, in fact, give up the most points in a single season. In 2024, they gave up 534 points.
Jesus.
Wow.
They also played all of their home games at Clemson in their opening year, as their stadium was not done being built when they got their team.
Makes sense.
But they have lost in the wild card round in 2017.
You know what's funny? We didn't even talk about that one because I was so positive it was true. I was just like, I'm pretty sure they've only been to the playoffs like 3 times, and I think they made the championship each time and lost or something like that. Like, it was like one of those things. Was like that. Yeah, that one. It's negligible.
Right.
Next is the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Immaculate Reception game was our first playoff win ever. In the Super Bowl era, we have never drafted a kicker, and we are tied with the Patriots for the most Super Bowl wins.
What? How could all 3 of them feel like lies?
Right? You know what? I could see them not drafting a kicker. I could see the kicker one being, well, yeah. Because the kicker one was, I feel like that was true.
So
you said they haven't drafted a kicker, right?
In the Super Bowl era, we have never drafted a kicker in the NFL draft.
Yeah, I could see that.
So the Patriots, Tom Brady has 7 rings. 2 of them came from Tampa Bay, which means 5 of them came from...
I think only one came from Tampa.
Only one came from Tampa
Yeah,
Bay?
so he has 6 in New England.
So he has 6 in New England. So the Steelers...
would have 6. I think they did.
They do.
Because I'm pretty sure they had 4, and then they won 2 more with Ben.
Yeah.
And gave him... So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's also tied. So...
Right.
I think the lie was the Immaculate Reception.
Immaculate Reception being the first.
Yeah, I think that's the lie.
Win.
Immaculate Reception was not their first playoff win.
I'm going to agree with you.
We are tied with the Patriots for the most Super Bowl wins is true. Both of them have 6, correct. The Immaculate Reception game was our first playoff win ever is also correct.
Wow.
But they have drafted 6 kickers, last one in 1999.
I completely forgot about that the other question.
Well, I even said I could believe that was true. They never drafted a kicker.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, a lot of teams they'll get a rookie kickers out of undrafted free agency.
Yeah.
Oh,
or
yeah.
Somebody's practice squad.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I could see them not drafting a kicker. That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Next, we have the Green Bay Packers. We sell 12 different types of cheese in the Lambeau Field Packer Pro Shop.
I believe that.
We hold
Might
the
be a low
record
ball.
for the oldest team that still holds its original name and location, and we have the longest waiting list for season tickets in the entire NFL.
That one I'm pretty sure is true, because I think the waiting list is like absolutely ridiculous for theirs.
And so, I guess, what does location specifically mean?
They've never left Green Bay.
Does it mean they never left Green Bay, or does it mean they never left the physical, like, parking lot area that they're in? Or does it mean they are playing in the same stadium that they were playing in 1933?
I don't know.
I can't imagine it means they're playing in the same stadium as 1933.
I don't think it's the same stadium.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think they started in Green Bay, though, either. I think technically they started in Chicago or something like that, because they were like, it was started as like in like the meat packers is where the Packers comes from.
I thought it was the Cheese Packers.
I thought it was meat packers because it was like around Chicago, and they moved to Green Bay later and kind of changed it. Maybe it was Milwaukee.
Man, I don't know. All right, so we've got longest waiting list for season ticket holder.
I would believe that one. I'm 99% sure that one's probably true.
We've got longest with the same name in the same spot. See, I struggle with that one because the Philadelphia Eagles have always played in Philadelphia, and as long as the NFL has been the NFL, they have been the Eagles. They were the
Steagles for a season or two, just because
no, they were the Philadelphia Pittsburgh Eagles that year, actually. Steagles was an unofficial name.
Oh, okay.
Their official name was Eagles. So, and they played in Philadelphia, if I'm not mistaken. But I know they've moved stadiums. So, like, they haven't always been located in South Philly. And,
Right.
like, technically they were the Yellow Jackets before they were the Eagles, but that was before the NFL existed. So it's like, how far back are we going here?
Right.
I think that one's...
Maybe. I mean, Lambeau's been around for a long time. Lambeau Field's been there for a long time.
I mean, yeah, it has been there as long back as I can remember.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I think Lambeau was built like I think back in the 50s at least.
Yikes. All
So
those poor fans.
I know, right?
Get a new stadium.
They just keep updating it. If they get a new stadium, they're just gonna leave the town.
I mean, yeah, but that leads me to the season ticket holders, because I've heard lots of rumors about Green Bay wanting to move, and maybe that's because they don't have good season ticket holders. And I think
What was the
that's
third one, Tom?
I'm gonna go.
We're missing one more. We never talk about the third one.
A dozen cheeses.
Oh yeah, I mean we can talk about, it, but I mean if it's wrong, it's because there's more than a dozen.
Yeah, I agree. It's like surprise, they're 36.
Yeah, right.
It's like Baskin Robbins for cheese.
Right?
There's there's like 5 different kinds of cheddars.
I think I'm gonna go final answer. It's the season ticket holders is the lie.
I think the lie is that they've had the same name in the same place.
All right. We hold the record for the oldest team that still holds its original name and location. The team was established in 1919, has never been renamed or relocated.
So it does predate the NFL.
We have the longest waiting list for season tickets in the entire NFL. As of 2024, we have a list of
It's the cheese.
waiting people approaching 150,000
The
people
cheese.
and a 99% renewal rate.
Why do
It
they
is
want
es-
to move then?
It is estimated that you will wait on this list for 100 years before you will get season tickets.
Wow.
And the lie is they don't sell cheese at the pro shop. I just made that up.
That's shocking to me. I'm not gonna lie.
I bet they sell it at the concession stands,
Oh, probably, yeah.
just not the pro shop.
That's so funny. That was so believable.
That was great. That's gonna be the hardest one to keep the straight face on too. It's like they bought it without even thinking about it. Idiots.
Next is the Las Vegas Raiders. Or just the Raiders in general, because a lot of these questions, including this one, we are the only team to win a Super Bowl in the 1960s, the 1970s, and the 1980s. Second, we hold the record for the most penalties in a single season. And we have 5 sections of seating in our stadium that has been claimed by hardcore fans known as the Black Hole.
I mean, the Black Hole is well known.
I mean, it is, but is that still around in Vegas, though? Like, I mean, I could see if they were still in Oakland, but did the Black Hole really travel to Vegas?
I'm not going to lie, I have been jealous of the Black Hole my entire life. Like, I really wish the Eagles were black and silver so that could be my aesthetic, because I'm stuck.
That's your aesthetic anyway.
Yeah, that would just be like what I wear any other day. I just have to paint my face to go to a game. Like, that would be the only thing that's different.
You could do the same thing with green and silver, right?
I mean, yeah, but I don't wear green all that often.
Just on Sundays.
Just on Sundays.
And then after
black every other day of the week.
And then after the Eagles or Raiders game, you can just go to a black metal concert and go fit right in.
Exactly.
All right. I mean, I can see the Black Hole, but if it was still in Oakland, I don't know if I can buy it in Vegas because I don't know how well the Black Hole really traveled. Did they win in the 60s, 70s, and 80s? And then they had the most penalty yards the most penalties or penalty yards in a season.
We hold the record for the most penalties in a single season.
I could buy that. This is the Raiders.
I actually thought it was the Eagles, though. I thought the Eagles got that record in the 90s. I could be wrong, though. It could just be my disgruntled uncle just blurting shit out at Thanksgiving.
Especially after that
days.
Second whiskey.
Yeah, exactly.
Was this pre or post beer o'clock?
My uncle back then, every hour was beer o'clock, buddy.
Fair enough. So post.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I don't know if they won in the 70s. I feel like they may have. I feel like, the 70s, the Dolphins only won 2 in the 70s. Vikings won. Steelers won. Raiders probably snuck in there, though. Because they had some pretty good teams. I don't know. What do you think, Pete?
Well, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Tom, you said they were the only team to have won a Super Bowl in all 3 decades.
Correct.
And I think that might be part of the trick. Maybe they're not the only team that did it. I wish I knew Super Bowls like you do. Like, I can't tell you who won Super Bowls in the 70s. Like, it's just not a chance.
Right, that's what I'm trying to think. Like, because usually, like, there's usually a team or two that's good for for each decade. But like,
right.
The Raiders kind of would pop up. The Raiders are like, I feel like would pop up randomly throughout the decade with a good team.
Right.
Because like 60s, I'm not great with the 60s. Really, I don't know. Like, getting that far back, it's hard. Like, I know like 70s some with a bit, and 80s was basically the 49ers ran the entire NFL in the 80s.
Yeah, I mean, how many Super Bowls are we putting the Raiders at? Because, like, I think Madden got one with them.
Yeah.
And then I think I can't remember his last name.
He's
the owner for Al Davis, thank you. I think he got one with them, right? I
think he was the owner when they won one. Yeah, maybe 2. But I think that was in the 70s and 80s. Cause I don't think they've won since possibly the 80s. Because I know they didn't win anything in the 90s forward.
Yeah, that was Cowboys territory.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, the only one I can think of that they went... I know the last Super Bowl they went to was 2002 against the Bucs when they got destroyed. Yeah. That was the last one they even made it to. So they haven't even been in over 2 decades at this point. So I'm going to say that the lie is the most penalties in a season. I think someone's beaten that at this point. Because I think that would have happened back in like the 70s or 80s or something if they would have done it.
You know, I think that was the one I was leaning towards too. I think it's definitely plausible. I feel like the black hole wouldn't have gone away. It's just too cool of a fandom to like. I know the Hoggats disappeared in Washington, but the Hoggats were dumb. They were just guys in dresses wearing pig noses. Like, the black hole is cool. Like, it's not gonna go away, I don't think. So I'm leaning towards that one too. I'm just not sure they won in all 3 decades, and that's what I'm hung up on. And I don't think either one of us have gotten a point yet, so I don't want to pick the same as you. So I'm gonna go ahead and say it's the Super Bowls.
We have 5 sections of seating in the stadium devoted to the black hole. This is correct. And Pete is correct as well, because you can actually hire black hole members to come to your birthday parties. It's not bad either.
Nice.
And we hold the record for the most penalties in a single season at 163 in 2011.
Oh, damn.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately, we did not win a Super Bowl in the 1960s, 70s, and 80s because we lost Super Bowl II to Green Bay Packers. But we did earn the name the Team of the Decades for appearing in a Super Bowl in all 3 decades. But that is the lie.
Yeah, well, Pete was right.
You know what? I also could have been right about the Eagles having the record in the 90s because they broke it in 2011. Maybe they broke the Eagles record.
Fair enough.
Next, we have the New England Patriots. In 1971, when we moved from Boston to Foxborough, the team petitioned to rename the team, but the NFL rejected our proposal. Second statement, as of the 2022 season, Gillette Stadium Concessions does not sell New England clam chowder, but they do sell Philly cheesesteaks.
I hope that's true.
And finally, we hold the longest winning streak in the NFL.
The longest winning streak in the NFL.
Like consecutive winning streak?
Yeah, game after game.
Didn't we already talk about this last time?
We did, but it was specifically in season last time. And that's the difference.
Pete remembers.
Yeah, this has got to be true because the 18-1 season was following a Super Bowl run. So they were already on a win streak going into that game, and then they won 18 straight. So that one has to be true, for sure.
Gotcha. You know what? I could believe I'm not selling New England clam chowder, but selling a cheesesteak, because a cheesesteak's a lot easier to walk and eat and sit down than a clam chowder is.
Ah, God, that is fair, but I bet it's
still
an
great.
Awful cheesesteak.
Because it's not from Philly.
Clam chowder sucks, too.
I mean, that's fair. But see, the thing is like, New England clam chowder is New England clam chowder, but if you call a Philly cheesesteak, it's not a Philly cheesesteak. It's just a cheesesteak or just a steak, one or the other. If you put the word Philly in front of it, it ain't a Philly. It's just how it works.
Not unless you get it wrapped in tinfoil, that way you know it came from Philly.
Exactly.
And no one ever puts the Cheese Whiz on it either.
I do.
Outside of Philly.
Oh, well, that's because you're all lame.
That's why you know it's not from Philly.
Yeah. So supposedly the cheesesteak recipe predates the existence of Cheese Whiz, so therefore people have proven that cheesesteaks are not supposed to have Cheese Whiz on them, and they were supposedly originally created with provolone. Whatever. Cheese Whiz is much, much better. I do Whiz that American, though, because I like it extra cheesy.
I just say Cheese Whiz, so... Anyway, going back to it, they petitioned to change it. I want to know what they would have changed the name to.
I think I remember something about it, so I think I'm actually going to pick the cheesesteak as the lie. And I think I do remember them, and I want to say they wanted to change their name to the Minutemen.
I don't know why the NFL would reject it, because the NFL shouldn't care.
I mean, I don't know.
I'm actually going to pick that the name rejection was the false, just so we're not tied up.
All right. We hold the longest winning streak in the NFL at 21 games, having won 15 straight in 03 and the first 6 in 04.
Oh, there you go. Wasn't even the one I was talking about.
In 1971, we petitioned the NFL to change our names to the Bay State Patriots, but was rejected when they figured out that we would be called the BS Patriots.
I could have sworn I heard they were going to be called the Minutemen.
And as far as the clam chowder, you can buy it everywhere. The place is absolutely messy with clam chowder.
Do they sell a cheesesteak?
Yes, they also do sell cheesesteaks.
My God.
But then again, every NFL stadium sells cheesesteaks.
You know what's
Do
funny?
they?
Yeah, do they?
All right, I shouldn't say every, but at least half sells cheesesteaks.
Everyone that's like from like Indy East sells cheesesteaks.
Oh, everyone on the East Coast, yeah.
Yeah.
So
If you're within driving distance of Philly, you sell a cheesesteak.
you get the New England clam chowder and you dip the cheesesteak in the chowder and you eat it, and that's how you do it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Then you can get the white sauce all over you.
Next, we come to the New York Jets. Our team name became the Jets because it rhymed with the Mets, as we also played at Shea Stadium. Also, we're pretty close to LaGuardia Airport, so Jets seem to fit. Second statement, since the turn of the century, we have never made it to the conference championship. Third statement, we have the longest active playoff drought.
When did Mark
Longest-
Sanchez play for the Jets?
I was just thinking that was like early 2010s, I think.
So I went to the first Eagles game when Sanchez was an Eagle and Vic was a Jet, and they played each other. And I was living in Havertown at the time, so that must have been 2010, maybe 2011. So they've made it to the championship since the turn of the century, for sure. Sanchez took them to back-to-back.
And then lost.
Yes, he did.
Longest current playoff drought. Like I was gonna say of active teams, of course, of active teams. I'm so used to doing players. I'm like, of active players.
Those Baltimore Colts haven't been to the playoffs in decades.
Right. It was funny. I was gonna say the Browns. I'm like, no, the Browns made in the last year, a couple years, because Baker took the Browns to the playoffs.
Yeah,
and then
who
they
else
canned
would
them.
it be?
Cardinals haven't made it for a while.
So the Patriots just really had a stranglehold of that division for like all of the 20 teams. Brady left and went to Tampa 4 years ago. Is that right? It'd be 2021.
It's either 2021 or 2020, one of the two.
Yeah. So I don't think the Jets have been there since 2020 for sure. Did they ever make the playoffs while Tom Brady was in Foxborough?
Well, yeah, they made it with Sanchez
They made it with Sanchez.
because he took him to the championship a couple times.
Yeah.
So they did make it then, but I mean, that'd be like what, 2008, 9, 10, around that time frame.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're looking at a 15-year drought. Who would have a longer drought than 15 years?
Giants?
No. Well, maybe.
I don't know, man, because unless Eli made the Super Bowl, he didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And the last Super Bowl they won was 2007.
And Manning would have been out of the league by like 2012, right? For sure.
No,
When the Jets were
Eli
still
was.
okay.
No, Eli was playing until like 2019, 2020. Because I think this coming season was his first year eligible for the Hall of Fame. He
Correct.
retired for 4 years.
Right. Okay.
So he just retired like 4 years ago.
Jesus.
He just played on a really bad team and didn't do anything for 10, 15 years.
That's
Do
a
you feel
really
old
long
yet,
time
Pete?
to not do anything.
Yeah. That's why, like, the Giants, like I said, I think the Giants might be close. They may have snuck in there. I don't know, man. The other New York team also sucks.
They share a stadium and neither
Like,
of them have.
dude, how bad is it to be in? How bad is it that you live in New York City, have two different football teams, and they both are two of the worst teams in the league for over a decade?
All right, so let's work this a different angle, right? So we got
All right.
naming the team the Jets because they're close to an airport and it rhymes with the Mets. And
Is the dumbest thing ever, but sounds like the most Jets thing ever.
Right, so like as far as I'm aware, the way New York usually splits their teams is you're a fan of the Giants and the Yankees, or you're a fan of the Jets and the Mets. And I wouldn't be shocked if that's why they did that, because it was like, you know, the Giants are the Yankees team and the Mets don't have a football team to pair itself with, and they're like the little brother of New York, and here come the Jets, and the Jets are basically like the little brother of New York. At the same time, it's definitely something Tom would make up.
I feel a little insulted by that.
You just love a good dad joke, Tom. It's okay. What was the last one? Oh, we'd never been to a conference. Wait.
Conference championship since the turn of the century, which we know that's not true.
Wait a
we know
minute,
that's,
then why are we debating everything? What was it?
we know they've been to the conference championship since the turn of the century.
So what's the... Oh, what was the statement you read out?
Since the turn of the century, we have never made it to the conference championship.
Why are we debating this? We know that's the lie. I think we heard that one backwards.
Yeah, we know that's
Yeah,
shit.
that's the lie.
Both
Yeah.
of us just heard it backwards.
I know. I was like, okay, you guys have both said that's not true. Why are we still doing this? You guys
Because it
are
didn't
right.
register in my brain the way it was said.
You know, it's been a really long couple weeks at work, all right?
Fair
My
enough.
brain's a little fried.
The Jets lost to the Colts in 2009 and the Steelers in 2010.
All right.
And for our final team of the evening, we have the Arizona Cardinals.
All right. I know nothing about the Arizona Cardinals. Wonderful.
We are the oldest continuously operating professional football team in the United States.
No.
We have the longest postseason win drought. And
Is that active or just in general?
in general.
Okay.
And we have been to the Super Bowl twice, and both times we lost against a team who is now in the AFC North.
I think that's the lie. Because I only know they've been going to Super Bowl once.
But I mean, oldest active NFL team, the Arizona
I think
Cardinals.
that's true. I think that's true. If I remember correctly, they actually started off as like the Boston Cardinals back in like 1912 or something like that.
Actually, it was Chicago, now that you're saying it. I
Yeah, no,
remember,
you're right. It was.
because
Yeah, they were the Chicago Cardinals.
Funny thing is the year after the Steagles, the Eagles reformed as their own team, but the Steelers didn't have enough players, so they went to Chicago. And the official name of that team was the Chicago Cardinals, and the Pittsburgh Steelers merged, and they actually called the team the Carpet. CARPIT, Carpet was the name of the team. They were the Chicago Pittsburgh Carpet.
God. But so yeah, no, the Cardinals are the longest continuously active team.
So I mean, that's 1944 is the year that I'm talking about, and
I mean, they were around for a while though. In Chicago.
but how can you say that you're the longest active team? I mean, because you're playing teams that aren't active anymore. You answer your own question
Yeah.
here. But I mean, I struggle with this because it's like so many teams talk about being like the longest active this, that, and the other team, and being a founding member of the NFL, and it's like, when is the demarcation point of when it becomes a pro team? And is that the creation of the NFL? Obviously that's not, because we already had a question about this, and we predated the NFL in that question. But, like, do the Cardinals go back before 1919? So I know the Eagles only go back to, like, 22, I think, when they were the Yellow Jackets. I think we determined that the Green Bay Packers went to 1919.
Yeah.
So the question is do the Cardinals predate 1919? And if they do, who the hell were they playing football against?
I think they do. There was teams, like I said, I know there was some teams up in like Boston and around the New York area and stuff, because the Giants were around then too.
Yeah.
So, but I can only think of one Super Bowl that the Cardinals have been to, and they did lose to the Steelers. But I cannot remember a second time the Cardinals made the Super Bowl. Because they had to have lost to either the Bengals, Browns, or the Ravens. Because you said what is now the AFC North, right? Is where they lost to?
Correct. Well, you said the team moved to the AFC North.
We have been to the Super Bowl twice, and both teams we lost against a team who is now in the AFC North.
Who is now. So they essentially moved to the AFC North.
Right. So yeah, Browns, Ravens, or Bengals. And the Bengals have never won a Super Bowl. And the Browns have never won a Super Bowl.
That's for sure.
And the Ravens have never beat the Cardinals. So the Ravens have never won the Ravens won a Super Bowl, but they didn't beat the Cardinals. They beat the Giants. So I'm going to go with that's the lie, because the Ravens have not beat the Cardinals in a Super Bowl.
I'm going to go with the oldest running franchise just because I want to be different from you, and I still question if they predate the Packers somehow. But that's me.
All right. We hold the longest postseason win drought because between 1947 and 1998, 51 years, we did not win a single game in the postseason.
Damn.
Jesus. But at the end of World War II, until the Civil Rights Movement. Jesus Christ.
And we are the oldest continuous operating professional football team in the United States. The Cardinals, established in 1898, was originally the Morgan Athletic Club, immediately changed because the name sucked, to the Racine Cardinals in Chicago. So you guys called that.
Hey.
But Adam is absolutely right. They've only been to one Super Bowl and they lost to the Steelers. So they did not lose 2 Super Bowls.
All right.
There you go.
But with a final score of Adam 2, Pete 3, we have our winner.
Still got it. Oh, man. That was... Dude, these are tough, man. These are so tough. Especially when, we answer it, then spend like 10 minutes talking about the other answers that aren't even true, that are true.
Oh, man. Trying to poke holes in the logic of the two that we know to be true. I don't know why we did that.
Made for good content, I guess?
Yeah, great radio content. Right.
It's made us look like idiots.
Yep. It's like dogs chasing their tails.
Even if we caught it, I got no idea what to do with it.
Yeah,
well, now what?
Right?
Oh, man. Yeah, these are great. I love these.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so that's it for trivia. I think that's about it for this week. We will do an update for next week. Stay tuned. We will be doing a mock draft for the NFL draft coming up. This will be fun. We've been kind of putting some work into this one. We are only doing the first round. We're not going to be doing 7 full round draft. This will only be the first round of the mock draft. And we wanted to get this out before the actual draft, which is actually 2 weeks. My bad. Not 3. 2 weeks.
Yep.
We have 2 weeks from tomorrow is the NFL draft.
All right.
At least the first round.
Although, that would be yesterday since these release on Friday.
Very true. Yes. Yeah, the first round of the NFL draft in frigid Green Bay, Wisconsin, which no one wants to go to and everyone wants to leave.
Yeah, exactly. Except the season ticket holders who are desperately trying to get in.
Half of them don't even live there. They can't.
Yeah.
They've got that many people on the waiting list. Most of them are from around the country. They just buy the season tickets and probably only go to one game a year.
Dude, I'm going to put myself on the waiting list just to see if it happens. Before I die.
I wonder if you have to be a shareholder to buy season tickets.
Oh, that would be funny.
Yeah.
I mean, makes you invest in the team, literally.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if you become a shareholder, they bump you up. You only have to wait 70.
They knock you up depending on how many shares you buy. You get further up the list.
Right, yeah. The more shares you buy, the number of years you get off.
Oh, man. All right. Well, that's going to be wrapping it up for us. Any final thoughts this week, gentlemen?
I mean, on the road to WrestleMania, baby. Keep watching that wrestling. Other than that, not been much.
The PGA Masters weekend starts tomorrow and wraps up on Sunday. You tune in and watch Scotty Scheffler win the whole thing. And congratulations to Alex Overchin for passing Wayne Gretzky's points scored record at 895 goals. Well done.
Wow.
And
Ovechkin.
Thank you. And I have to point out the amazing occurrence that happened in college baseball when you had the Lehman College, who were riding a 42-game losing streak, played a doubleheader against Yeshiva University, who was also riding a 99-game losing streak. And as you know, something had to give. So what happens in a doubleheader? They both win. And
I was waiting for you to tell me they ended in a tie somehow.
So a 42-game losing streak and a 100-game losing streak both ended in a doubleheader against the two worst teams ever.
That's impressive.
I didn't even know that's possible in college. High school, okay, but how do you do that in college?
At some point, don't you just call the mercy rule and we don't want to play anymore?
Yeah.
We're done.
Drop us down in 6th division. We'll play high school teams. You guys can go play each other.
Those guys ain't going to the league.
Yeah.
The thing that cracked me up is Yeshiva they won the second game in the doubleheader, so their losing streak got to 100 before they won the second game, and I was like, okay.
It's a nice round number.
Yeah.
All right, I can't wait. Actually, I'm kind of excited to kind of try to get to watch some baseball, just to get into it, just to watch some. The beginning of the season is always for me a bit exciting. I like to get in and watch some towards the beginning of the season just to see it again and get back into it. See how things are going, see if the Athletics are as miserable as they seem playing in a AAA stadium. Which, apparently on the side note, their stadium doesn't have bathrooms in their dugouts, so they have to cross the field and go back to the actual, everything behind the outfield fence to go to the bathroom in game.
That's ridiculous.
It's insane. And they don't even have the stadium, they don't even have a city name on their team. They're just the Athletics. They didn't even put Sacramento on it, which is where they're playing. They're just the Athletics.
That's kind of funny because, the Athletics is the most generic team name for, we're a group of athletes that hang out with one another. We're the Athletics. We don't even come from a city.
Something from, the 1920s in, some, silent film.
Right? Yeah. They're all wearing the, Andre the Giant over-the-shoulder singlet.
Yeah. But you know what? Baseball's always fun to kind of get back into, and I'm hoping to get to a couple of games this year, too. So...
yeah.
Maybe if things work out, maybe find something I can maybe get up to Chicago or something for a Major League game or something. I don't know. Nice. We'll see. But I do think that's about it for us this week. Thanks so much for joining us and tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode of the Geeks and Greeks podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and Amazon. You can also find us on Facebook at Geeks and Greeks. And don't forget to reach us by email at geeksandgreeks365@gmail.com. Until next time, guys, may the coin toss of life ever be in your favor. See ya.
Later.
Peace.